Man is a little lower than the angels, higher than the beasts. Like a pendulum, he swings to and fro under the combined action of gravity and momentum, of the gravity of selfishness and the momentum of the divine, of a vision beheld by God in the darkness of flesh and blood. We are prone to be impressed by the ostentatious, the obvious. The strident caterwaul of the animal fills the air, while the still small voice of the spirit is heard only in the rare hours of prayer and devotion. From the streetcar window we may see the hunt for wealth and pleasure, the onslaught upon the weak, faces expressing suspicion or contempt. On the other hand, the holy lives only in the depths. What is noble retires when exposed to light. Humility is extinguished in the awareness of it, and the willingness for martyrdom rests in the secrecy of the things to be. Walking upon the clay, we live in nature, surrendering to impulse and passion, to vanity and arrogance. While our eyes reach out to the lasting light of truth, we are subject to terrestrial gravitation, yet we are confronted by God. If man is not more than human, then he is less than human. Man is but a short critical stage between the animal and the spiritual. His state is one of constant wavering, of soaring or descending. Undeviating humanity is non existent. The emancipated man is yet to emerge. There is hardly a person who does not submit his soul to the beauty parlor, who does not employ the makeup of vanity in order to belie his embarrassment. It is only before God that we all stand naked. The universe is not a waif, and life is not a derelict. Man is neither the lord of the universe, nor even the master of his own destiny. Our life is not our own property, but a possession of God, and it is this divine ownership that makes life a sacred thing. Man is more than what he is to himself. In his reason he may be limited, in his will he may be wicked, but he stands in a relation to God which he may betray but not sever, and which constitutes the essential meaning of life. He is the knot in which heaven and earth are interlaced. It is an accepted fact that the Bible has given the world a new concept of God. What is not realized is the fact that the Bible has given the world a new vision of man. The Bible is not a book about God, it is a book about man. From, wait a minute, from the perspective of the Bible, who is man? A being in travail with God's dreams, with God's dream of a world redeemed, a reconciliation of heaven and earth. God's dream is not to be alone, to have mankind as a partner in the drama of continuous creation. By whatever we do, we either advance or obstruct the drama of redemption. We either reduce or enhance the power of evil. Man is man because something divine is at stake in his existence. He is not an innocent bystander in the cosmic drama. There is in us more kinship with the divine than we are able to believe. The souls of men are candles of the Lord, lit on the cosmic way, and every soul is indispensable to him. Man is needed. He is in need of God. There is a divine dream which the prophets and rabbis have cherished, and which fills our prayers and permeates the acts of true piety. It is the dream of a world rid of evil. By the grace of God, as well as by the efforts of man, by his dedication to the task of establishing the kingship of God in the world. God is waiting for us to redeem the world. We should not spend our life hunting for trivial satisfactions while God is waiting. Living is not a private affair of the individual. Living is what man does with God's time, what man does with God's world. It is as if I were the only man on the globe and God, too, were alone, waiting for me. Verbally, we seem to be committed to the idea that man is created in the likeness of God, but are we committed to it intellectually? If the divine likeness is our premise, then the question arises, how should a being created in the likeness of God act, think, and feel? How should we live in a way which is compatible with our being a likeness of God? That's a good question, especially for Am Kadosh. To stand for. To be is to stand for. How should I live the life that I am? While man is attached to the ultimate at the root of his being, he is detached and uncurbed in his thoughts and deeds, free to act and free to refrain. He has the power to disobey. Yet, a tree is known by its fruits, not by its roots. There are no ugly trees, but there are wormy fruits. Only one question, therefore, is worthy of supreme anxiety: how to live in a world pestered with lies and remain unpolluted. How not to be stricken with despair, not to flee, but to fight, and succeed in keeping the soul unsoiled, and even aid in purifying the world. Throughout the ages, two extreme views have most frequently been voiced, one deifying desire, the other vilifying it. There were those who, overwhelmed by the dark power of passion, believed that they sensed in its raving manifestation of the gods and celebrated its gratification as a sacred ritual. Dionysian orgies, fertility rites, sacred prostitution are extreme examples of a view that subconsciously has never died out. The exponents of the other extreme, frightened by the destructive power of unbridled passion, have taught man to see ugliness in desire, Satan in the rapture of the flesh. Their advice was to repress the appetites and their ideals, self-renunciation and aestheticism. Some Greeks said passion is a god, eros. Buddhists say desire is evil. To the Jewish mind, being neither enticed nor horrified by the powers of passion, desires are neither benign nor pernicious, but, like fire, they do not agree with straw. They should be neither quenched nor supplied with fuel. Rather than worship fire and be consumed by it, we should let a light come out of the flames. Needs are spiritual opportunities. The road to the sacred leads through the secular. The world is not a vacuum. Either we make it an altar for God, or it is invaded by demons. There can be no neutrality. Either we are ministers of the sacred or slaves of evil. We live by the conviction that acts of goodness reflect the hidden light of His holiness. His light is above our minds, but not beyond our will. It is within our power to mirror His unending love in deeds of kindness, like brooks that hold the sky. The power to make distinctions is a primary operation of intelligence. We distinguish between white and black, beautiful and ugly, pleasant and unpleasant, gain and loss, good and evil, right and wrong. The fate of mankind depends upon the realization that the distinction between good and evil, right and wrong, is superior to all other distinctions. To teach humanity the primacy of that distinction is of essence to the biblical message. After the Lord had created the universe, He took a look at His creation. What was the word that conveyed His impression? If an artist were to find a word describing how the universe looked to God at the dawn of its existence, the word would be sublime or beautiful. But the word that the Bible has is good. Indeed, when looking through a telescope into the stellar space, the word that comes to our mind is grandeur, mystery, splendor. But the God of Israel is not impressed with splendor. He's impressed with goodness. Good and evil are not values among other values. Good is life, and evil is death. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. Therefore choose life. How should man, a being created in the likeness of God, live? What way of living is compatible with the grandeur and mystery of life? It is a problem which man has always been anxious to ignore. Upon the pavement of the Roman city of Timgat, an inscription was found which reads, to hunt, to bathe, to gamble, to laugh, that is to live. Judaism is a reminder of the grandeur and earnestness of living. In what dimension of existence does man become aware of the grandeur and earnestness of living? It is in deeds that man becomes aware of what his life really is, of his power to harm and to hurt, to wreck and to ruin, of his ability to derive joy and to bestow it upon others, to relieve and to increase his own and other people's tensions. It is in the employment of his will, not in reflection, that he meets his own self as it is, nor as he should like it to be. In his deeds, man exposes his imminent as well as his suppressed desires, spelling even that which he cannot apprehend. Whatever he may not dare to think, he often utters in deeds. The heart is revealed in the deeds. Man can be a nightmare, but also a fulfillment of a vision of God. He has been given the power to surpass himself, to answer for all things, and to act for one God. All beings obey the law. Man is able to sing the law. His ultimate legacy is in his composing a song of deeds, which only God fully understands. Great is the challenge we face at every moment, sublime the occasion, every occasion. Here we are, contemporaries of God, some of his power at our disposal. Over and above personal problems, there is an objective challenge to overcome inequity, injustice, helplessness, suffering, carelessness, and oppression. Over and above the din of desires, there is a calling, a demanding, a waiting, an expectation. There is a question that follows me wherever I turn. What is expected of me? What is demanded of me? What we encounter is not only flowers and stars, mountains and walls. Over and above all things is a sublime expectation, a waiting for. With every child born, a new expectation enters the world. This is the most important experience in the life of every human being. Something is asked of me. Every human being has had a moment in which he sensed a mysterious waiting for him. Meaning is found in responding to the demand. Meaning is found in sensing the demand.